Drums, please.
Alright, the U.S. customary system of measurement we're all accustomed to, hence the word customary, uses the foot, the quart, and the ounce. Alright, and this is also known as the English system because the English invented it hundreds of years ago, but they don't even use it today. We do, and that's why it gets confused because everyone else in the world uses the metric system, but scientists use the metric system also. So here's how they compare. In the U.S. customary system for measuring length, we use the mile, the yard, foot, and inch. In the metric system, the basic unit for length is meter, and we also use kilometer, centimeter, and millimeter. For measuring fluid volume in the U.S. system, we use gallon, quart, pint, and cup. Again, in the metric system, the basic unit is liter. Also used is kiloliter and milliliter. In the U.S. system, to measure weight, we use the ton, the pound, the ounce. But in the metric system, weight is referred to as mass, and we use the base unit gram. Other commonly used is kilogram, milligram. Alright, now let's see how these things are related. Alright, as you can see right here, the meter is the base unit for length. Okay, and the prefixes are bigger than a meter is the decameter, the hectometer, and the kilometer. The units that are smaller than a meter is the decimeter, the centimeter, and the millimeter. So the millimeter is the smallest and the kilometer is the largest. As you see right here, the base units are all the same, meter. When we talk about fluid volume, we just change the base unit to liter, and all the prefixes stay the same. In exactly the same way, in mass, we change the base to gram, and all the prefixes stay the same. Now, how did the prefixes work in the metric system? Well, alright, let's see how they relate, the prefixes. Deca is 10, hecto means 100, kilo means 1,000. Going down, deci means 1/10, centi 100th, and milli 1,000th. Alright, each one you move up, you just multiply by 10. When you move down, you just multiply simply by 1/10. Alright, the metric system. We use the meter for length, the liter for volume, and the gram for mass. Mass is just basically how much it weighs, how much matter it takes up. They're going to weigh this in grams. Now for volume, it's how much space the cube took up, or any object. Alright, how much space it takes up, the outside length times width times height on something you can measure. But 1 milliliter equals 1 cubic centimeter. The reason for that is if you have an irregular object that you can't measure easily, length times width times height, you drop it in a beaker of water. The water started off at 50 milliliters. They dropped the rock in, the water level moved up to 70 milliliters. Subtract the two, you get 20 milliliters is how much that rock displaced. You drop a cube in, you don't need to. You can do the math by measurement, length times width times height, but as you can see, that cube will displace exactly the size it is. Now we have a dinosaur. They dropped into a beaker of water. They weighed it prior to that, so it's 79.4 grams. We put that in the box. Alright, you put the volume on the outside. The volume was how much the water level rose from starting to finish, so it's 225 milliliters. Then you do the math, so you're going to end up with 0.35 grams per milliliter. You got to use both of the units, grams per milliliter, and it will give you the density. Density, once again, is just how much tightly packed the atoms are, how close the atoms, the matter is packed into an object, okay? So you see right here, see the atoms, you see that one? Way packed in. At the top you see your proton and neutron and your electrons flying around. It demonstrates the atoms. Alright, now in metric system, you know the King Henry drinks ucky dirty chocolate milk. We went over that. You know your units. So King Henry drinks ucky dirty chocolate milk. Kilo, hecto, deca, unit, deci, centa, milla. set up your things. You remember, people's getting confused with meter. The UCI, the units, it's all one single letter. Everything else is double letters. You really don't use hecta, deca, or deci that much, but the other ones you do. Kilo, centa, and milli. And they're all going to be 2 letters. So if we write something like 3 meters equals how many millimeters, that's 1 letter. You use the units. Millimeters is going to be the last unit. So we move in 3 spots. So that's going to be 3,000. 3 meters equal 3,000 millimeters. It's easy. 4 kg, 4 kilograms to how many grams? You move from the K to the units place. You move from 2 letters to the 1 letter. You know how we got 2 letters to the 1 letter? You move millimeters to meters. You just move it the other direction. It's simple. See this? Look at that. 6 moves. 3 millimeters equals how many kilometers? You move it. You can also express it with 3 times 10 to the negative 6. 1 meter basically is about 3 feet. Alright, and 1 gram is very, very small. It weighs about a paperclip. There's all the different units. Liter, meter, and gram is all your units. So how many millimeters make up 2 meters? Figure that out. Now you know 100 centimeters equals 1 meter. 1,000 millimeters make up 1 meter. You know that. Alright, it takes 10 millimeters to make up centimeters. This is a magnified image of a meter stick. You see the one, that's centimeters. You see that one right there? That's a half a centimeter. You see the small little one at the far? That's a millimeter. So when you measure stuff, it's very simple. This key is 3 centimeters or 30 millimeters. Exactly the same thing. It just depends on how you want to measure it, in centimeters or millimeters. Toy car, 4.2 centimeters or 42 millimeters. Very simple. Make sure you have this down. The metric system is always based in 10. Okay? Remember that. How many centimeters make up 2 meters? Alright. Make sure you review this and watch it again. You must know it for the leap.